guys, Randy here again. Promised you about just different germination techniques and what grows best in the bucket system. So here we go.
There's a lot of methods to germinate seeds, but it all comes down to water, temperature, air, and light. Here's a chart, and there'll be a link on our site. You can print this off. Very handy. I use this heat mat because I'm kind of impatient, but seeds will sprout without it. Definitely a lot quicker with it. It'll gently heat the medium and the seeds will sprout a lot quicker.
Of course, with the little super sprouter deals, those sponges, you use those. The rockwool cubes, sometimes I just fill them with perlite. Put them in, put your single seeds in, let them go. Of course, when you're growing just in the 10-20, just plant this whole just directly right into the buckets. You're fine. Well, some other options, just the little clear shoe boxes, which I really like using. You can use perlite. You can use a pea gravel.
Now these can be used directly on the heat mat or just in your house and a windowsill, and we'll be covering them as well.
One of the ways we have done the small seed, which is sometimes a real pain in the neck to work with, we just sprinkle them in and then rub it down a little bit. Then squirt bottle, wet them down. And I'll do that a few times a day just to get them started. Once they get started, then we just take them out, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay, so we get really small seeds, the lettuce seeds and that. Again, really hard to deal with. You can use perlite, you can use the little pea gravel, and we'll just sprinkle them around. That's it. Just rub it down a little bit just like that. You know, have to be real careful. Again, spray it, and you'd be amazed how fast these germinate. Now, when you spray for a few days, you're going to see the water level in the clear tray, and it'll be up to about here. Well, that'll just wick up. Just spray a little bit each day, and it really works well. So after we've got the seed in, we spray them down, just put the tops on, keeps them moist. We keep the tops on until they actually sprout. So, you know, I'll just check them, spray them down every now and then, top back on. Okay, when we're taking the tomato plants or pepper plants out, just take your hand under here. You don't have to be that careful. It all comes out real easy. There you go, nice root. And then we just transplant them into one of the buckets.
When we transplant it into the bucket, we just poke a hole down, put the roots down, pack it back in, and that's it.
Just like the perlite, the pea gravel works about the same way. Just get your hand under there, pull it out. Plenty of root system. Transplant it the same way. Works with tomatoes, peppers. This is a spinach plant. Grab it, bring it out. Plenty of root. Here's a pak choi. These come up about in 2 to 3 days. It's amazing in here. And plenty of root. Transplant it anywhere you want. Another way that we can start seeds is using rockwool cubes in the baskets. And I soak them first in our nutrient solution. Squish them down a little bit. And then you can seed whatever you want to seed in there. Now, to keep them watered, you can just use a tray with less gravel, no gravel. But if you have a little bit of gravel in there, these will never move on you. You can just do that and just put the water level to about where the rock is, and it'll just wake up. Really good way to germinate things. Ways to do this. The 1-inch rockwool is one of the best. Just set it in. What I'll do, I'll actually moisten it first, set it in, and set my seed inside. They germinate very well. If you do pre-sprout them, first just dip that, pre-soak it a little bit. I split these open, put the plant in, and just set it in squares. And that's it. It's simple as that.
Here's a float bed and some float beds that are seeded. A few days later, a few more days, a few more days. I think you get the point. Really grows fast.
Okay, many of the larger seeds like beans, we just sow directly into the buckets. I just place them on top. I'll push down about an inch, push that in, pat it down. You can put 2 or 3 beans in each of these buckets. And I leave the water on for a few days. You can water from the top a little bit. It helps with the germination a little quicker. Okay, we have one just coming out now. There's one up here. Again, this is just about 4 or 5 days and they're up.
Another little trick I found, it works really well. I take some paper, soak it in a nutrient solution, and put it right on top of the perlite over the seeds, and it keeps them moist. They have that little extra shade that they like, and you can just water right on top of that a little bit too, but the seeds will germinate a lot better. You'll have higher percentage of germination. You can use them in the buckets. You can do the same thing in the fabric pots. And as you can see, really precise on ripping and putting them around the little feed lines and stuff. But anyway, that's all you have to do. Works really well. And again, here's a couple of germination charts that are just really handy, and you can find the links. I'll put some PDFs on my website and you can just print them off from there. Well, that's it for now. So, from Greenhouse Solutions and Growing Systems, where we keep it simple, keep it sustainable, keep it affordable, and most of all, keep it real.